checking the forecast, things looking crazy. A storm on the horizon, the pressure is low. Gotta get moving, put on a show. The news is all buzzing, state of alert, but we've got a plan, we're ready to work. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all-clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we'll open the gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. See a little fire or a rising flood, we're a well-oiled machine, we're running in the mud. From the city hall meetings to the rescue teams, turning worst-case scenarios into hopeful dreams. We're training the people, we're stocking the gear, we're the team you can count on when trouble is near. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all-clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're open the gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. It's more than a job, it's a calling, you see. Prepared for the present and what's yet to be. Every second counts, we're ready to react for our communities. We're making an impact. Emergency Management Associates, we're here for the crisis, we're here for the fates. From the first sign of trouble to the all-clear sign, we're on the front lines, we're one of a kind. Emergency Management Associates, we're the calm in the chaos, we're open the gates, connecting the dots and making the calls. We're picking you up when you're starting to fall. Yeah, we're picking you up, we're ready to go. EMA, let's get this show on the road.
Let's get this show on the road, guys. This is Emergency Management Associates, and we are on the air. Welcome to our program, guys. We're glad to be here with you today. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. That's where we're at. Okay, guys, we have a lot to talk about. Quite a bit of stuff has happened. I should say a lot of things have happened during the last, I want to even say 48 hours, but I want to get into it right now. Now, before I get started, I did not do a program yesterday because I was stranded on the side of the road. My car broke down. I'll get into that more a little bit later, but my car broke down. It's inoperable right now. Probably not going to be operable at all, but we'll get back to that in a minute. What I want to talk about today is having one person shot by federal officers, okay, in Minneapolis. We know what happened several years ago, back in 2021, when a police officer with the Minneapolis Police Department shot and killed a black gentleman. Okay? Horrible things happen. He was arrested. The police officer was arrested wrongfully. Wrongfully, guys. That man, I'm not even going to mention his name, I don't want to get into it, but he was on fentanyl. He was on cocaine. If he had not been on fentanyl and cocaine, he would have lived. Okay? Regardless of what the media wants to tell you, he would have lived. The officer was wrongfully accused, and he sits in prison right now. What a bad deal. What a bad deal. But yesterday morning in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 2 officers were one was run down by a protester, a paid protester named Renee Good. Okay? Paid protester there. Run down. Run down. 2 police officers had approached her car. She, as you can see, she pulled her car out in the middle of the road. What you're not seeing, there's a whole procession of police vehicles, law enforcement, ICE, immigration customs enforcement vehicles with officers in them. She pulled out in the procession to block the procession from going down the road. This is what they do. Usually they're on foot. ICE officers have to stop, get out of their vehicles, and get these people out of the road. This time, this paid protester pulled her vehicle out in the middle of the road, blocking the ICE people. The man you see right here got out of his ICE truck. He and his partner were driving an ICE truck. This guy got out of the passenger side of the ICE vehicle, approached this woman right here. Okay, she was in the driver's seat. Notice here, she has on her reverse lights, meaning she was going to back up. Yes, she did back up for about 2 or 3 feet, but then she put it in drive, and I'm going to show you. See that second circle there, right in front of the vehicle there? There's a police officer sitting there. I should say standing there. You can see him more closely right there. She ran him down. She ran him down. Now, as he saw her pulling forward, he raced over towards the side of the vehicle, but he still got hit with the front side of the vehicle. Okay, he still got hit by the front side of the vehicle here. Okay, now I'm going to play, I actually am not going to play, but I'm going to show you the video here in just a second. I want you to see what happened. I believe this is very important here. Okay, this is a statement from President Trump after what happened. Notice what he says. I have just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator. Yes, we have confirmed that she was a paid protester. Okay? The woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting federal officers, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Okay? Yes, he did. He took 2 shots. He took 2 shots here. Let me show you what happened.
Resisting. The president said she viciously ran over the officer. Take a look at the video from another angle. We've got a different angle here because we want to really get to the bottom of this. This is the first.
Okay, whoa. I'm sorry. Right before the Fox switched that, this is the picture here. I stopped the video here. Right in front of this vehicle, you can just barely see the federal officer. Let's continue here.
This is the first video that we saw where the officers are trying to get her out of the car. She ignores
Okay, she ignored him. You see the car going down the road here?
them. Here's another video from the front, and we actually see the car from the front.
Can this company use your house to trial their radically simple new
hitting an officer in the leg, and he walks away partly limping. The video obviously is
right there. He was trying to get out of the way. She hit him with the front corner of the vehicle. Now, he was taken to the hospital. He had minor injuries. He had been taken to the hospital, and he's been released from the hospital last night, and he was returned to his family. Okay? This is an accident investigation, not just with him getting run over. Anytime there is an officer involved with shooting, whether it is a municipal city officer, a state officer, or even a federal officer, those officers are put on administrative leave. They're put on administration leave. That way, they're off the street. They are not able to do anything else until the investigation is completed. Let me roll this video further.
Part of an investigation that the FBI is doing. Protests broke out across the country after the shooting. Several Democrats immediately called this murder, even before the investigation took place, even before the FBI could actually investigate. Joining me now is Ohio Congressman and the Chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Jim Jordan. Mr. Chairman, your reaction to this deadly shooting?
Well, this ICE officer was defending himself and his colleagues, and instead of elected officials on the other side criticizing him, maybe they should stop promoting what we've seen now for this whole year, which is you have rioters and others interfering with federal law enforcement officials doing their job. They're doxing them, they're harassing them, they're interfering with them when they're actually out there trying to do their job as enforcers of federal law. And then it all goes back to this jurisdiction where they're sanctuary jurisdiction, sanctuary cities, sanctuary states. And again, that I think has just led to this terrible situation where someone lost their life. But the officer is defending himself, defending his colleagues as they're trained to do. But the left is they're gonna say what they're gonna say. I mean, think about how bad it was, Maria. Last year you had the judge in Milwaukee. The good guys are coming in the front door to arrest the bad guy, and she lets him go out the back door. That's what happens when you have this left-wing mindset in these sanctuary jurisdictions. It is ridiculous, and I think the country understands that.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. She talked about that Milwaukee judge. Guess what? That Milwaukee judge is sitting in jail right now. She's waiting to be sentenced. She could be sentenced up to 7 years in prison for doing what she did. Allowing that illegal immigrant to be released out into the public, then federal officers had to chase him down the street and bring him into custody. She was found guilty. Now she's sitting in a federal penitentiary awaiting sentencing right now. That's a left-wing judge. That's what these left-wing people are doing. Okay? It's horrible. It's horrible. Let's go on here. I've got some more things to show you. First, I want to talk to you about Governor Walz, the Minnesota mayor or governor. Let me show you his statement here. This is him walking out of his hallway there. Let me back this up just a hair. He walks out of the hallway and salutes the audience.
Good afternoon. Today I'm joined by Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bob Jacobson, Colonel Schaefer of the Minnesota National Guard, and Colonel Bogojevic of the Minnesota State Patrol. This morning we learned that an ICE officer shot and killed someone in Minneapolis. My deepest condolences to the family, to the loved ones who had to learn about this tragic event on national television. We have been warning for weeks that the Trump administration's dangerous, sensationalized operations are a threat to our public safety, that someone was going to get hurt. Just yesterday, I said exactly that. What we're seeing is the consequences of governance designed to generate fear, headlines, and conflict. It's governing by reality TV. And today that recklessness cost someone their life. I've reached out to Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, and I'm waiting to hear back. Let me be clear. Donald Trump and his administration may not care much about Minnesota. That's been pretty evident. But we love this state. We won't let them tear us apart. We'll not turn against each other. To Minnesotans, I say this. I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want a show. We can't give it to them. We cannot. If you protest and express your First Amendment rights, please do so peacefully as you always do. We can't give them.
Peacefully as you always do. Really? So far, I have not seen a peaceful protest in Minneapolis at all. Every one of them have been violent protests, and the protesters have gotten away with it. That's because of this mayor, or the governor and the mayor, I'm going to show you in just a minute.
What they want. The hearts and minds of the people in this state are on our side. To Americans, I ask you this, please stand with Minneapolis. To Minnesotans, know that our administration is going to stop at nothing to seek accountability and justice. The State Bureau of Criminal Apprehension are working on the investigation. We have activated the State Emergency Operations Center. State Patrol and Minnesota National Guard leadership is connected with the Minneapolis Police Department, the St. Paul Police Department, Hennepin County Sheriff's Office, the DNR, and Minnesota's Homeland Security and Emergency Management. We have activated dozens of members of the State Patrol's mobile response team. And from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough. There's nothing more important than Minnesotan safety. I've issued a warning order to prepare the Minnesota National Guard. We have soldiers in training and prepared to be deployed if necessary.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Governor Walz is saying that he has asked for the Minnesota National Guard to be deployed. They're standing by right now, waiting for the order. I want to inform Governor Walz right now. I believe President Trump has already informed him. Under constitutional law, the National Guard cannot be used against federal officers. Unconstitutional use of force. The United States National Guard, no matter what state they're in, cannot be used against federal officers. It's unconstitutional. Unconstitutional, Mr. Governor. Unreal what you want to do here.
I remind you, a warning order is a heads up for folks. And these National Guard troops are our National Guard troops. They're teachers in your community. They're business owners. They're construction professionals. They are Minnesotans.
Okay. Again, he's talking about the National Guard troops. They are not just Minnesota troops. Who controls the National Guard? The Commander-in-Chief of the United States, President Donald Trump. Donald Trump controls the National Guard, not Governor Walz. Yes, when there's an incident, other states can ask governors for their guard troops to help out. But when it comes to putting guard troops on the street to protect the people from U.S. forces, guess what? Wrong answer. Wrong answer. Our federal officers are only interested in getting illegal aliens off the street, not harming anybody else. Unfortunately, Miss Renee Good got in the way. She was a paid assassin trying to take out one of our own federal law enforcement officers. She was a paid protester, guys. Unreal. Paid protester. Now, she was a female. She had a young 6-year-old daughter that she was left behind because she put the daughter in daycare so she could go out and protest. She put her daughter out in daycare so she can go protest. Unfortunately, she got in the way. Unfortunately, she got in her vehicle and used her vehicle as a weapon. And she was shot to death by federal forces, federal ICE officers, Immigration Customs Enforcement officers. I'm sorry she died. I really am. I feel for her family. But she should not have done what she did. It's okay to protest. I have no problem with her protesting as long as she's protesting peacefully. She did not do that. She didn't do it before she got in her car, and once she got in her car, she used her car as a weapon and tried to assassinate a federal agent. Wrong answer. Wrong answer. Now, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Let me play you another video for you from the mayor of Minneapolis. This guy is a crazy man. He's got 10 screws loose, not just one.
And in this case, quite literally killing people. So they are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bullshit. This was an agent recklessly using power that resulted in somebody dying, getting killed. As soon as it happened and we learned of the incident, we had several priorities. The first, of course, was to get the victim to the hospital and to get care as soon as possible. To the family, I'm so deeply sorry. There's nothing that I can say right now that's going to make you or your relatives or the friends of the victim feel any better. There were, I believe, 2 Minneapolis police officers that responded and were in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. The second was to get ICE off of the scene. There were dozens, if not hundreds, of ICE and federal officers that were there at the time. Having them there was only causing more chaos. Having them there was only making a difficult situation even more problematic, and one that, yes, they created themselves. There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
Okay, you heard it. Yes, I probably should give you a heads up for language. Using some language in this video. I'm going to stop it here. He's telling the citizens of his city to go out and protest again. Again. Okay? He's vilifying federal agents. Vilifying federal agents here. Mr. Frey, F-R-E-Y is his name. He pronounces it Fry. Mr. Fry, the mayor of Minneapolis, and Governor Walz, guess what? You're being watched. You are being watched. You need to be very wary because you are about to be arrested. Both of you are about to be arrested. You have committed illegal acts. Both of you committed illegal acts. We can prove it. We can very much prove it. Now, with that said, I want to show you another document here. I forgot to load this here before I came into this room here. I'm going to show you right now. The document is this, okay? This is United States Code 18, Section 115. Influencing, impeding, or retaliating against a federal official by threatening or injuring a family member. Or injuring a family member. What has been happening in Minneapolis? What has been happening in Minneapolis? They've actually had people killed. They've gone after federal officials and their families. In Section A here, I want to enlarge it so you can see it. Assaults, kidnaps, or murders, or attempts or conspires to kidnap or murder, or threatens to assault, kidnap, or murder a member of the immediate family of the United States official, a United States judge, a federal law enforcement officer, an official whose killing would be a crime under Section 1114 of the United States Code under this title. Threatens to assault, kidnap, or murder a United States official, a U.S. judge, a federal law enforcement officer, or an official whose killing would be a crime punishable under this section. Guys, that's what this woman did. That is what this mayor and the governor have done. They have doxed federal law enforcement. They've gone after their families as well. Mr. Mayor Frey, he's told his law enforcement, he has told his protesters to go out and find out who these law enforcement officers are and dox their families. Waltz and Frey have gotten off to a bad start. They violated the law here. They have violated the law. I want to lay that down right now. They violated the law. They should not have done this at all. Now, some of you who are on the internet know that there is a messenger thread called Thread, just like Facebook Messenger, except it's called Thread. Last night, because I've been on Messenger, somehow I was allowed to go on Thread, and yes, I posted a comment about this shooting in Minneapolis. I had, by midnight last night, I had over 1,000 messages on that Thread line. I had several death threats. Guys. No joke. Not a joke at all. Now, there's something else you need to know. I was a federal law enforcement officer myself in San Diego. I'm sorry, let me reduce this picture in size a little bit so you can see me. This is me in San Diego. I was a federal law enforcement officer. Yes, I assisted ICE on several occasions. When they called us, I drove down to the border with my partner and assisted Immigration, Customs Enforcement, and also Border Patrol on several occasions. No, I was not an ICE officer. I was just a U.S. federal officer. Okay? But last night, a woman decided she was going to take advantage of the situation. Incredible what she did. She took this picture of me. She also posted a thumbnail of a picture that I had posted as a thumbnail to my Sunday program this past Sunday. Unreal what she did. She posted this thumbnail alongside my picture in my federal vehicle with my federal vehicle. She doxed me. Several other people said that they were going to kill me. They're going to make sure I wouldn't live another day. I had 3 such threats. They found my YouTube program. That's fine. I have no problem with that. But threatening me is a different situation. I'm not going to allow that to happen. I'm not going to allow anyone to get near my family at all. Not now, not ever. I want to make it perfectly clear. I want to make this one point perfectly clear here. And guys, our moderators are here. If you see anybody on this thread, anybody on the chat trying to dox me or saying anything negative, I want you to ban them. Take them off this chat. Okay? Please don't do that. Please take them off this chat. Tank Faces here in the chat saying his former ship was a USS Midway that's there as an aircraft carrier museum in the San Diego city. I helped get that USS Midway there. Okay? the United States Navy had taken the Midway and towed it over to Bremerton, Washington to be scrapped. Before they could do that, myself and probably a dozen other people and my police partner, his name was Nick, we went to the Admiral, the United States Navy Admiral over on Harbor Drive in San Diego, and asked him if there's anything that can be done to stop the Midway being towed out to Bremerton. He said, no, it's already in process. He felt sorry about that. He felt very bad. But he put us in contact with other people, and we brought the Midway back to San Diego. Okay? But that's neither here nor there with this conversation. Last night I was doxxed. I want to put this out there right now. Okay? According to the use of force document, there's a a use of force document that allows law enforcement to protect themselves and their families and anybody else. It pretty much says this, okay? When in the use of your duties, the performance of your duties, when it becomes necessary to draw your weapon and use your weapon, or any weapon that a police officer has at his fingertips, you can only use that force which is reasonable and necessary. Only that force which is reasonable and necessary to stop the assault. The use of force that's necessary. Only that force which is 1, reasonable, and 2, necessary to stop the assault. That's what happened with that officer, that Immigration Customs Enforcement officer in Minneapolis. He used that force which was reasonable and necessary to stop the assault. Unfortunately, that woman died. The officer was hurt. Fortunately for him, he was not killed. Fortunately enough for him and his family, he was not killed. But the governor of Minnesota and the mayor of Minneapolis is still out there telling everybody to do what you can to make sure the federal officers are not protected and make sure that they suffer penalties. That's exactly what you heard from the governor. That's exactly what you heard from the mayor. Okay? Unreal. But they have doxed me now. Okay? I'm going to tell you this. Over 1,000 messages on that thread. Over 1,000 messages. And 3 of them were doxing me, threatening me to die. Really? I want to tell you this and tell everybody that watches this program today. Anybody that watches this program today, be aware. I'm a former federal officer. I'm a former federal police officer. And I am armed. I am packing right now. I want to make it very clear. I am packing at this present time. I will not ever allow anybody to hurt me or my family or anyone else. Not now, not ever. I want to make it very clear. I am packing right now at this point in time. I will continue to do so. I will continue to do it. Okay? Federal police or any police officer can have a concealed weapons permit to protect themselves. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to protect everybody. Okay? I want to make that perfectly clear here. Yes, there is a lot of evil in our society. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm very well aware of it. But I will not go unceasingly. Okay? I know you guys all have my 6 as well, and I appreciate that. But when I saw those death threats last night, I'm going, Oh my gosh. And yes, I did report them. I took them off the chat there, took them off the thread, but I also reported them to the authorities. Okay? It's unreal what we have to go through. They found my Facebook page, they found my YouTube channel, and they're doxing me. And that's fine. Let them go ahead. I've got mods for a reason to protect this channel and protect everybody in it. I've got mods here to help protect me, and also I will also help protect you and myself as well. But I will not ever allow anybody near anybody I can protect. Not now, not ever. Period. Not now, not ever, period. Now, last night, there was another shooting in Salt Lake City. Let me play this video for you here. This is last night from Fox News.
News out of Salt Lake City, Utah, just into our newsroom. This is a live look at the scene there in Salt Lake City. It's being reported that 2 people are dead, 8 people shot after a shooting at a Salt Lake City church funeral. This is information we're getting from Fox 13 there in Salt Lake City. This happening there on Redwood Road, as you can see in this live picture from the scene. Again, 2 people were killed, according to Fox 13. 8 people injured after a shooting at a funeral outside of a Salt Lake City LDS church tonight. Of those 8 people injured, 3 are in critical condition, according to police, and no suspects in custody at this time. Again,
no suspects in custody at this time. Right now, this minute. No suspects in custody at all. Now, let me show you something else. I've been prepared for this program for a little while today. Been putting together this program for quite a while. This is a picture of that building. This is a picture of that Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saint building near Redwood Road in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's called the Rose Park 5th Ward House. Okay? The ward is a congregation, and many congregations represent a stake. A stake is the ecclesiastical organization over about 6 to 7 congregations in this area. This is the 5th Ward, meaning this building here has 5 congregations in it at any one time. Literally on Sundays, it's all day long. All day long. Last night, they were conducting a funeral viewing. A person died. A Polynesian man died here in this area. They were having his viewing here last night when shots erupted outside in the parking lot. I want to show you this because it's important here. Let me continue this update here. I want to show you this. This is where a member of the family talked about what happened last night. This is video from last night. ABC4 News in Salt Lake City.
Who has a personal connection to this, and I want to play that soundbite for you right now. Let's roll that tape.
I was inside, and then I walked outside, and all my cousins were laid on the floor, getting got shot, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're at a funeral. This is a funeral viewing, and then now it's probably going to be another couple more funerals.
So you were saying a little bit earlier that you were at a funeral for one of your other cousins. Can you kind of just walk me through what was going on here tonight?
Oh, tonight was a viewing for one of my cousins that passed away just a couple of days ago, and we should be taking him back to California for his actual laid to rest, his funeral. And tragic happened. 4 of my other cousins got shot, and they're pretty much, I think they're dead also. So yeah, it's crazy.
My goodness. Your hearts go out to this family dealing with a tragedy and now having more loved ones killed.
Unreal. Very unreal. The investigation is still ongoing. Redwood Road in Salt Lake City, the 700, actually from about the 600 block of Redwood Road up to 800 Redwood Road has been closed, and the investigation's ongoing. It doesn't stop there. Let me take you back to the police update earlier this morning. This is a representative from the Salt Lake City Police Department. He is the social media coordinator. Right next to him, you see the chief of police.
Give me the cue, Alex. We good? Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Glenn Mills. I'm the Chief of Staff for the Salt Lake City Police Department. I want to start off just by thanking each of you. We do recognize you as a critical partner when it comes to keeping the public up to date and educated on events that happen in our community. So thank you for the work that you do here to keep the public informed. Aside me is Chief Brian Redd of the Salt Lake City Police Department. I will now turn the time over to him, and he will offer an update on the incident from last night. Afterwards, we will be able to take some questions as well.
Thank you all for being here. No problem. Again, thank you all for being here. I'll give you a quick update here this morning. We have, as you know, and we reported last night, we have 2 individuals who were fatally wounded last night. We have 5 additional injured who are currently being treated at local hospitals with what appear to be at this time non-life-threatening injuries. 1 has been treated and released. The fatally wounded have been identified as Aveyah Tulikana Nifo, Tulikanifo. First name is V-A-E-A. 46, and Sione Vatuve, 38 years of age, both residents of Utah. We again express our condolences to the families and those affected by this senseless tragedy. This is still a very active investigation. I do want to make it clear today that while this incident occurred at a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints facility, this was not a targeted attack on the LDS faith. There are people involved in this incident who have been less than cooperative, and we're still working to identify all who were involved in the incident and their roles in the matter. Our focus now is bringing all those involved to justice, and we will do that, and our detectives are working overtime to resolve these issues. There was a dispute last night between individuals who are known to each other who happened to be attending a funeral service, a memorial service. We do not believe at this time there is a threat to the general public. We want to thank our outside law enforcement agencies for their response to our city last night and for their continued support in this investigation. I want to thank Chief Lieb and the Salt Lake City Fire Department, Gold Cross, and 911 Dispatch for their support in this as well. They're great partners. Thank you, Chief Lieb. I want to reemphasize that if anyone in the public has information that they can provide to us, that would be very helpful. And you can call our non-emergency number at 801-799-3000. Again, if there's an emergency or you have information where you're concerned, call 911.
What do you know about the shooters?
It's still an active investigation, and we're looking into that. We believe there are more than, yes, we believe there was an exchange of gunfire.
People involved in the shooting said they knew each other. Were they all
So that's what we're still looking into and investigating. Yeah, no additional updates on that right now.
You used the word exchange just now. Does that mean that some of the folks who were fired on produced weapons on fire?
We're still looking into all of that. It was a very complicated crime scene, but we are looking into that. We're looking at all evidence that we can obtain from the scene, and then immediately as people were leaving the scene, as I indicated last night, any evidence from cameras or anything that might help us identify vehicles that were leaving the scene.
But the term exchange.
Yeah.
There was people were firing at each other.
We're still looking into that, but yeah, we're looking into that.
And for that question, is this like two people exchanging gunfire with each other, or two groups exchanging gunfire with each other?
Again, we are looking into the reason and cause for the gunfire in the first place, so we just don't want to get ahead of the investigation here.
And at this point, do you suspect anybody was an innocent bystander attending the funeral, or were these targeted two groups?
Again, the funeral was going on inside, and there were individuals on the outside.
Is anyone in custody yet?
No one is in custody yet, though we do have officers at the hospital with those who are being treated.
Chief, you mentioned that some of the people you have are being less than cooperative. Is that one person less than cooperative? Is it a group? Are you not getting any assistance from any of them?
Well, we interviewed a number of people last night. We're taking the information that we get, but again, we're still having some challenges with cooperation, and so we are asking the public and anyone that has information that could be helpful to please call us.
So, based on the information you have right now, did the shooting have anything to do with the funeral at all? Were those two separate events and everybody's happened to gather in the parking lot and the funeral was going on? Or?
Again, we're looking into all of those details, but there were individuals that were attending the funeral, and there were people out in the parking lot, and likely at some level involved in the memorial services.
You were asked about whether people were in custody, and the response included saying you had officers at the hospital. Does that suggest that suspects may be among those injured at the hospital?
I mean, that's a possibility, but there are also potentially victims. We're still sorting through all that. Again, when we don't have people cooperating and talking too much, we're still sorting through all of that.
Okay, I'm going to stop it here. There's a little bit more information to give you. I could let it go another 10 minutes. I'm not going to do that. But what I'm going to tell you is this was gang related. The people involved in this shooting were attending a Polynesian viewing for a person who had died. Apparently there were gang members, a rival gang or rival people, and they didn't like what was going on, or they didn't like the people that were there. They drove into the parking lot at that LDS church and opened fire on those people. 2 people are dead and 8 others are wounded. 3 of them in the hospital. 3 of them in the hospital, 2 dead. Others survived with very, very, very minor wounds. But a total of 8 people that were shot at the LDS church on Redwood Road in Salt Lake City last night. Very unfortunate. Okay. This is the first LDS involved shooting ever in Salt Lake City. Never has happened. Okay. Yes, there have been bad guys out in church parking lots. Bad guys are out there, but this is the first shooting that's ever evolved into an LDS church parking lot. Fortunately, it didn't happen inside. When the shooting happened, I'm going to tell you what happened. When the shooting happened, the viewing was going on inside the chapel, or not in the chapel, but in one of the rooms of the building. When this happened, the police showed up there. They cordoned off the building. They were posted on each exit and entry point of the building so nobody could enter or leave. Then the police escorted each every one of the members that were attending the memorial service, the viewing there, into what they called their cultural hall or the gymnasium. It's basically a basketball court. They got all the people that were involved in the viewing at in the basketball court. Then they got the morticians, the representatives of the funeral home. there. They escorted the casket out of the building into a hearse and drove the hearse away. Okay? Then one by one, once the scene was clear, were relatively safe, they allowed the members of the family that were there and the other people there at the viewing, they allowed those people to depart the building. That's what happened. Now, at midnight last night, this scene was very, very active. Okay? Again, the gunman took off in a vehicle. They have not identified specifically, as of right now, they've not actually said who those people are. The police may know who they are, but they have not released the information. But they have actively allowed those people that were at the viewing to leave the church, and the church building has been secured. Okay? No one else is in the building. Now, besides that, I want to talk about some earthquakes. Then I want to talk about what happened to me yesterday afternoon, why I did not come on the air last night. Let's talk about earthquakes now. Okay? There's one earthquake in particular that I want to speak about right now. I'm going to bring up the USGS map here. I'm going to take down our EMS or EMA banner here. I want to go over here to New Zealand first, then over into Fiji. Okay? Let's do this here. Okay? Going to bring this up so you can see it. In Fiji, we've had a 5.4 very large earthquake here, right there. It first came out as a 5.1, then it came out as a raised 5.2, then a 5.3, then a 5.4 large earthquake. 5.4 large earthquake here. Now this earthquake is just offshore near the shoreline here. Okay? This is 9 miles southeast of Pattaya, Patea, New Zealand. Okay? Right next to the shoreline. But notice how close it was. 9 miles, about 19-20 kilometers southwest of Pattaya. USGS has this in southeast. It's no way southeast. Southwest of Pattaya. Okay? Regardless, this was close to shore. Now, because of that, anybody living near the shoreline, living anywhere near the shoreline, felt possibly parts of this earthquake. They may have not felt the entire 5.4 earthquake. Yes, USGS subsequently downgraded to 5.0. They went from a 5.1 to 5.2, 5.3 to 5.4 earthquake. Then they downgraded to 5.0. That's what they do, nearly a half magnitude downgrade. How many times have I told you that? They downgrade them to almost a half magnitude or lower than half magnitude to make it seem like nothing happened. This was a large earthquake. Here. This is Walnut Beach right here. People are there. There's a small community here. There are communities and towns and cities all around New Zealand. Okay? All over this area. They felt this earthquake. Now, they may have not felt a 5.4. They possibly even felt a 5.0 large earthquake. Parts of this earthquake were absorbed by the ocean here. Some of the strength of this earthquake may have been absorbed by the ocean here, but not all of it. This is fairly close to shoreline here. I want to take you over the shoreline here. I want to show you what everything is here. A lot of this area is cliffs, guys. A lot of this area is cliffs. Yes, there are small communities such as this with small beaches here. But a lot of these areas that I've seen, because I have friends here in this area, I have friends that visit on sailboats here, this is cliff areas, okay? These are cliffs here. Now, this earthquake was felt. Possibly not a full 5.4, but possibly even a 4.9, 5.0 shaking. There's probably some kind of damages here. We haven't heard what. We have not heard what. This earthquake happened at 8:14 this morning, Eastern Time in the United States. Down here in New Zealand, it is Friday already. It's Friday. Possibly sometime in the middle of the night, this earthquake hit here. But I want to show you this. This is a large earthquake. Okay? Large earthquakes do hit New Zealand. They do hit New Zealand. Now, they also show one other earthquake over here on the north side of the island. Okay? This is a 4.4 moderate earthquake. 4.4 moderate earthquake. This is 133 kilometers deep. Guess what? This is still a fairly shallow earthquake. The 5.4 was 71 kilometers deep. Shallow earthquake. This 4.4 here was 9 miles southwest of Makitu, New Zealand. Southwest of Makitu, New Zealand here. Okay? As I said before, 4.4 or 4.0, 4.9 earthquakes do moderate damage. They knock pictures off of walls, they can knock books and knickknacks off of shelves, and can make people's lives feel pretty hairy for a while. Usually they don't do a ton of damage. They can rattle plates, dishes, they can rattle glasses around on shelves. If those shelves are not secured, then glasses and such can fall off shelves and break on the floors. That's possibly what could happen with a 4.0 to 4.9 earthquake. This happened today in New Zealand, guys. Now remember this. I've talked about this before. Over here on the eastern side of the North Island, the North Island is called Rau Island. Over here on the east side of the island, New Zealanders are expecting an 8.0 megathrust earthquake to hit here in the next 25 years. That's what they're saying. No, I do not think there is evidence enough to show that the size of the earthquakes and the number of earthquakes that are happening here near the shoreline is proliferating here enough to say that there are 8.0 earthquake that can happen imminently. I don't think it's possible. But I'm going to agree with the scientists right now that because this country is sitting on top of a plate, New Zealand is sitting on top of the India-Australian plate. On the top of the plate. This is a subduction zone where the Pacific plate is subducting under the Indo-Australian plate. That's why we're going to have a major earthquake here, a subduction quake. It's going to happen. No, we don't know when, but it will happen at some point in time. Let's go up to Fiji here. Over here near Vanuatu. This is south of Vanuatu here. This is what they call the Loyalty Islands here. This is another 5.0 earthquake here. This is 51 kilometers deep. Or I'm sorry, not 51, 51 miles deep here, which is about 120 kilometers deep. Still a very shallow earthquake. 5.0 large earthquake here. Now this is southeast of the Loyalty Islands. Nobody felt this quake. It was far enough away from any islands that nobody felt this quake. The ocean waters of the Pacific Ocean absorbed the shock waves from this quake. Let's go further north, way up here. This is Vanuatu. Earlier this week, we told you about a large earthquake that hit near Port Vila, Vanuatu. This is a moderate 4.5 earthquake here. This is 179 miles southeast of Solo, Vanuatu. Solo, Vanuatu. Nobody felt this earthquake. It's far enough away that nobody felt it. The ocean waters absorbed the shock waves of this quake. But as you can see, we reported on earthquakes in this area before. This whole area of the Pacific Islands has been having a lot of earthquakes, a lot. Some of these earthquakes have been 7.0, 7.4 earthquakes. Some of them have been 6.0, 6.9, very strong quakes. Some of them have been large, 5.0, 5.9. Guys, when that happens, these people that live in these islands, if the quake is close enough, will suffer damage. It's happened over at Port Vila earlier this week. This 4.5 earthquake is out in the ocean away from any islands. Nobody even felt this quake. Let's go further over here to Papua New Guinea. This is another large 5.0 earthquake here in Papua New Guinea. 50 miles west of Ambuti, Papua New Guinea. This is in the foothills of Papua New Guinea here. Okay, we've had many earthquakes here in the mountains. Many earthquakes in the mountains. This was a large 5.0 earthquake. USGS is calling these moderate earthquakes. They're not. USGS used to call them large because they constitute a large amount of energy that does a lot of damage. For some reason last year, they turned it into lighter or moderate earthquakes. These are not moderate. They constitute large amount of damage, especially here in an area where people don't have much money. Very little money here. The people that live in the villages here in Papua New Guinea make about $500 a year. $500 a year. So when an earthquake of this magnitude hits, it devastates their families, devastates their villages. That's what happened here in Papua New Guinea today. Large earthquake here. Let's back out here. Notice that the USBS is not showing any earthquakes here in Indonesia. None. 44 earthquakes here in Indonesia. USGS shows nothing. We have moderate 4.0, 4.6 earthquakes here in Indonesia. We have 3.0, 3.9 small quakes that hit here. We have minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9 that have hit here. Guys, I want to say this again. Except in major cities here in Indonesia, a large part of the population has very little money. In Java, Indonesia over here, in the city, Jakarta, they have some money here. But outside of Jakarta, they have very little money. When an earthquake hits here, and they have, their lives can be devastated. Happens frequently. And the USGS takes no responsibility. None. One of the most active areas of Southeast Asia, they're not showing any earthquakes at all. None. Earthquakes are hitting here. People's lives are disrupted. Want to go up to Tajikistan. This is another large 5.3 earthquake here. This area, people are nomads. They're nomads, guys. When a large earthquake hits, it devastates their towns. As have happened over in Afghanistan last year. We had a 6.1 earthquake, which was a very strong earthquake, very shallow earthquake as well. It destroyed their town. Here in Tajikistan, this earthquake was 63 miles south-southeast of Murgab, Tajikistan. Regardless, there are people who live here. People live here. Their lives have been disrupted by this earthquake. Over here, just to the northwest here, northeast. This is another 5.3 earthquake here. Okay? These earthquakes have a lot of staying power, meaning their damage is inflicted widely. 2 large earthquakes here today. Sad. Sad. Let's go down here into Europe. I just love this. Over here to the west side of Greece here. The west side of Greece here. Okay? This island is a haven of tourist people who live here. Just west of this island. Guess what? We have a 4.7 earthquake here. It's a moderate earthquake. Out in the Mediterranean here, it caused no damage. No damage. But what they're not showing are other earthquakes here. They're 4.0 earthquakes. They're 3.0, 3.9. They're minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.9. And there are tremors, 1.0 to 1.9 tremors here in Greece. 28 earthquakes here. They don't show any. None. Now, I want to go over here to Sicily and Italy. Mount Etna is still blowing up here. Mount Etna is still blowing up here. A huge eruption today at Mount Etna and Stromboli. Okay? Earthquakes in this region as well, minor earthquakes for the most part. We go up here to the north. Okay? Right here. Okay? This is near Naples. Vesuvius volcano is still moving. USGS is not showing any earthquakes. There are 2.5s, 2.8s, 2.9s, 1.0, 1.9s. There are even 3.5, 3.7 earthquakes heading here around Vesuvius volcano, all the way over here to Naples. This volcano is moving. It's still steaming. The area around this volcano is very populated, hugely populated. Nearly 1 million people live around Vesuvius volcano here, to the south, the north, and the east, and the west. Very urbanized area. Officials are still evacuating some of these people, getting them away from the volcano because they fear it could erupt. Yeah, they fear it could erupt. Up here, north central Italy, right here. 25 earthquakes here today. There's still a swarm of earthquakes happening here. Over the past year and a half, we've had 2 5.0 and 5.1 earthquakes here. When we have swarms of earthquakes like we are seeing here in north central Italy, it only means there's another large earthquake coming. Another large earthquake coming. Up here in northern Italy, we have tremors and minor earthquakes. Tremors and minor earthquakes on the southern side of the Alps Mountains. Germany and Austria and Switzerland and France. Minor tremors and minor earthquakes here. USGS shows nothing. Not a thing. Over here. This is just east of the Strait of Gibraltar. Notice there's an earthquake fault here. There's an earthquake fault here, guys. Right there. Here we have a 4.4 earthquake here at the Strait of Gibraltar. There's an earthquake fault here. That's why we have this earthquake. 4.4 moderate earthquake here. This is 40 miles east of Martil, Morocco. Strait of Gibraltar here. Over here in southern Spain, we have numerous 2.0, 2.4 earthquakes here. Going up here into Portugal. Portugal. The west side of this bit of land here in Spain. Portugal. 2 earthquakes here, one up north and one down south. That's typical here. That's typical. Do you have any questions for me in regards to Europe? Any questions about Europe? Let's go to South America real quick. Okay? Over here on the eastern side of the Andes Mountains, right here. This is just east of the borderline of Argentina and Chile. This is a large 5.2 earthquake. Large 5.2 earthquake here, guys. Where it happened, there are no major cities or even small towns here. There might be villages here because this is the farmland of Argentina. If they had people living anywhere near here, they felt this earthquake. It was a large earthquake. 5.2 large earthquakes cause large amounts of damage. I have no reports of any damage here or injuries as a result of this 5.2 quake in Argentina. 44 miles south of San Agustin de Valle, Fairfield, Argentina. Going west over to the shoreline of Chile, central Chile. 4.0 earthquake here near Ovalle, Chile. Ovalle, Chile has seen many earthquakes here. This is a moderate 4.0 moderate earthquake here. This is 21.8 kilometers deep. Shallow earthquake. We go north into northern Chile near the border of Peru. This is a 4.5 earthquake near Atacama, Chile here. 4.5 earthquake here. Also, it's a shallow earthquake. Shallow earthquake, 78 kilometers deep. Going up here in northern Peru near the border of Ecuador. Near the border of Ecuador. We have another earthquake here. This one is a large, very large 5.5 earthquake. 5.5 to 5.9 are considered to be very large earthquakes. Very large earthquakes can cause a large amount of damage. I want to make it clear. This is 65 miles east of Gonzaga, Ecuador. East of Gonzaga, Ecuador in Peru. Okay? Again, this is just east of the Andes Mountains here. Andes Mountains. This is also the fertile plains, the farm area of Peru here. Now, I don't know for sure how many people live in this area. I believe there may be in some small villages here. I don't know. I don't know. But this earthquake was a very large earthquake. And if so, there's damages and there may be some casualties here in Peru and or even Ecuador. This is 65 miles east of Ecuador, city in Ecuador. But it's basically on the borderline of Peru and Ecuador here. Okay? USGS is not showing any of the earthquakes here in South America at all. Unfortunately, there are. There are at least 40 earthquakes as of my last check earlier today. 40 earthquakes. They show us 3. That's pretty sad. Actually, there's another one I just saw here in northeastern Guyana. Northeastern Guyana here. This is a 4.5 earthquake here. 4.5 earthquake near the shoreline of Guyana here. Okay. Now they're showing some earthquakes here in Puerto Rico here. I want to start off here in southwestern Puerto Rico here. Guys, we have aftershocks here. 6 years ago, December 26th and December 28th, we had 2 major 8.0 and 8.4 earthquakes hit on December 26th and December 28th, respectively. Now we are having aftershocks still 6 years later. These were man-made earthquakes, by the way. Aftershocks are not man-made. They're very real. This is a 2.5 minor earthquake out here in the ocean. This is a 2.2 Indios, Puerto Rico. Indios, Puerto Rico. In Indios, Puerto Rico right there. Let's go over here. This is the third earthquake here. This is a 2.4 near Laurel, Puerto Rico. As I said, on December 26th and December 28th, 6 years ago, we had 2 man-made 8.0 and 8.4 earthquakes hit here. They devastated this area. They shut down the electricity in Portugal. They shut down electricity in Puerto Rico. They damaged buildings, homes, businesses. On December 28th, the 8.4 earthquake hit. Over here in southwestern Puerto Rico, there was a great big huge natural sandstone arch here on the shoreline. Big huge sandstone arch here on the shoreline. When the 8.4 earthquake hit, that arch which is like 2 arches in Arches National Park in Utah. That's how big an arch this was. Natural sandstone arch was destroyed by that 8.4 earthquake. That's how powerful these earthquakes were. And we're still seeing aftershocks of these earthquakes 6 years later. Yeah, 6 years later. 2 earthquakes here northwest of Puerto Rico here. This one near the shoreline is a 3.2 earthquake. This further out over to the northwest here is a 3.2. It's over here on the north side of the Mona Passage. This is on the fault lines here. The fault lines here. See the fault line here? Part of the North American plate here. Part of the North American plate. But up to the north. Up to the north. What do you see? The Cayman Trench. The Cayman Trench starts in Guatemala in Central America. It continues eastbound past the Cayman Islands, southern Cuba, going north of Haiti and the Dominican Republic here. The Dominican Republic goes east of north of Puerto Rico and continues east over here until it gets out in the Atlantic Ocean. Then it goes south in the Atlantic Ocean until it gets over here to Venezuela. Then it goes into Venezuela right here. But up here in Puerto Rico, the Cayman Trench drops off earthquakes here. It dropped off this 3.2 small quake. It dropped off this earthquake to the north here. This is the 3.1 earthquake here. The Cayman Trench dropped off this earthquake from Central America. Happens all the time. Now, I want to go over here to the north. Okay, right here. Ashutnet, Massachusetts. I know I'm butchering it. ACUSHNET, Massachusetts. We have a 1.8 tremor here. Guys, guess what we have here? Guess what we have? Can anybody tell me what we might have? Guys, this is an earthquake. Yes, it's an earthquake. 1.8 tremor. But over here in the central mid-Atlantic, the central mid-Atlantic fault is expanding. It's pushing Africa and Europe in an easterly direction. It's pushing Greenland, Canada, the United States, and northern Mexico in a southwesterly direction. The Atlantic plate is expanding here. As a result, we have this earthquake here. Massachusetts. Good old Massachusetts, southern Massachusetts. Now, we've had earthquakes here in New York. We've had earthquakes in New Jersey. Earthquakes near Albany. We've had earthquakes over here recently, this past week over here in Ohio. Earthquake over here in Ohio was as a result of mining salt here from Lake Erie here. They're mining salt here from Lake Erie, and that's why we have this earthquake here. Earthquakes continue to happen here. Now, the Pneumatic Fault. This is in Louisiana. This is a 3.1 earthquake over here in eastern Louisiana. Not that far from the Pneumatic Fault. 3.1 small quake here near Edgefield, Louisiana. 4 miles northwest of Edgefield, Louisiana. It is a Pneumatic Fault earthquake. Pneumatic Fault earthquake. Now, I'm not going to be able to get into Southern California earthquakes today. I'm not going to get into up here in the Pacific Northwest either, but I'm going to tell you this. The Pacific Northwest continues to have massive amounts of rain and snow. The Cascade Mountains have been covered. There have been blizzard conditions here in the Cascade Mountains here. Snoqualmie Pass has been closed for the most part. They open it and end up closing again because of blizzard conditions. The blizzard conditions are prevalent throughout the Cascade Mountains from here south into Oregon and down into Northern California. The Sierra Mountains also. Rain and snow in California, Oregon, and Washington, and snow in the higher elevations. Going into Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, heavy snow conditions are prevailing. That's going to continue. Yes, we've had some mild snow conditions because we've had milder temperatures, but now they're turning cold. Different cold fronts are going through here now. It's going to be bitter cold here in Montana, Wyoming, going over here into Colorado, Idaho, Northern Utah, North and South Dakota here, and Minnesota as well. Michigan, Canada, Southern Canada, you all are going to see snow and colder temperatures here. Beware of it. I'm telling you this because I want you to be prepared. Prepare your families, guys. Make sure you have preparedness kits available for your family. Be prepared for cold weather. If you're driving or have to drive in the cold weather, make sure your car has an emergency kit as well. Make sure each one of your family members have enough food and water in your car as well. Make sure you have sand or kitty litter in the back of your car, so if you slide off the road, you can use the kitty litter or the sand for traction to get back on the road. If you have floor pads, if you have mats in your car, those can also be used for traction if you slide off the road. But be careful. These cold temperatures are going to be bitter. These cold temperatures are going to be very bitter. Going south into Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, Illinois, Ohio, over into Memphis, Tennessee area. You guys are going to see tornadic activity. Very bad storm system is going to be coming through here, or already is. You guys are going to see that. Okay? You guys are going to see that. Be prepared. Okay? I want you to be aware of it. Be aware of it. Prepare your families. If a tornado or tornado warning is issued, make sure you go for cover. Go to your tornado shelters or go to the inner part of your home. If you have shelters in the community, go to your community shelters. The center part of your home is probably the safest. Stay away from windows and outer walls. Okay? Please prepare yourselves for this. It's going to happen. Be fully prepared. Be fully prepared, guys. This storm system is nasty. This storm system is nasty. By Saturday, the storm system will be over here on the East Coast, and the East Coast is going to see very cold temperatures. Very cold temperatures. Now, Renee Seppi is begging for snow. Carol's also begging for snow. They may see it if, I'm going to say a big if here, if there is moisture enough with the storm. Yes, there's going to be cold temperatures, but in order for there to be snow here in North Carolina, there must be moisture. They presently are not calling for snow here in North Carolina. So guess what, ladies? I don't think you're going to see snow this weekend, but maybe next week. Maybe next week as the storms come in. We'll see. Does anyone have any questions for me? Or any questions from Renee or even Heather, Hurricane Heather here? Hurricane Heather and Renee are our weather specialists here. There's going to be very intense temperatures here. Very intense cold temperatures here. Falling beyond and behind the storm system. Look out. Look out. Okay? Any questions? Any questions? Now let me tell you what happened with me yesterday. Okay? Yes, my car broke down. It overheated. I found out from my mechanic late last night that I have a warped head. A head gasket is gone, which basically blows the engine out. Makes the engine completely unusable. So we may need a new car. Now, I notice we have not had any super chats as of late. That's sad. We used to get super chats all the time. Guys, we could use some help here. We could use some help. I hate begging for money at all. I hate that. I try not to do that. But guys, we need some help keeping this program on the air as well. If you're able, you see our PayPal locations scrolling across the bottom of your screen. You send us a donation to our PayPal. Donna gave us a PayPal donation earlier this week. I think it was on Sunday. Donna, I appreciate that. If you guys have any extra cash, anything, you can send us to help us maybe even buy a new car. It's going to be a used car. It's not going to be a new car because I can't afford payments on it. We can appreciate anything you can do for us. You'll also see our address going across the bottom of your screen, on the bottom line. Our email address is rltnspdema@gmail.com. Send us your criticism. Send us comments. Send us ideas what you want to see on this program. We'll make sure that happens. You'll also see our mailing address, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401. Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. You can send us cards and letters. Inside your card or letter, you can insert a check or even cash. Make sure it's wrapped with a letter. Make sure it's inside of a card so nobody sees what's in it. Those cards and letters get to us. We'd appreciate all of your support. I want to thank you for that ahead of time. Thank you very much for that. Now, guys, I'm sorry that my car died. I was not able to get on the air because of it. But a lot of things happened last night, happened this morning. I've talked to you about those already during this program. I appreciate each and every one of you that have been here. I really do. I ask God to bless you. I ask God to be with you. Always. Always. Now, guys, is there anything we can do for you? A lot of people need your prayers. Yes, we'll pray for all of you. We always do. Here in our house, we pray for each one of you every day. Every day. Now, in the scriptures, I'm going over to Corinthians chapter 10, verses 30 through 31. For if I by grace be a partaker, why am I evil spoken of? For that for which I give thanks. Whether therefore ye eat or drink, or whatsoever you do, do it all in the glory of God. Do it all in the glory of God. That's what I'm going to tell you today. Do all in the glory of God, guys. Everything you do. Christ is our Savior. God is our Heavenly Father. We need them both. Pray for them for help. When it comes to prayer, you need inspiration or healing. Pray to them for help and even inspiration or healing. They'll help you. I promise you that. They will do that. All you have to do is ask. All you have to do is ask. Heather just gave us a $5 super chat. Heather, thank you so much. God bless you, sister. Heather's been a proponent of my program for many years now. I love and appreciate her very much. Thank you for that super chat, Heather. I gave you an EMA sticker on your super chat. I've also given you a thumbs up for that. God bless you. Guys, also, if you will, please give us a thumbs up before you leave our program today. That would be greatly appreciated. YouTube uses those thumbs up to gauge interest in our program. The more thumbs up we get, the better. That way, YouTube will realize, hey, maybe we ought to promote this program on our YouTube forum. They rarely do. Rarely, if ever, they do. Please, guys, please help support this program. Share this program far and wide with everybody you know. Your family and extended family. Friends and neighbors. The people you associate with on social media and also the people you work with. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. That's my prayer. May God be with you this day and always. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side of this program. Tomorrow evening, we'll be back on the air at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Come see us then. We appreciate you guys. God bless you. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody. Much love. Take care. See you soon. Good night.
Here at Emergency Management Associates, we're dedicated and true, bringing you the essential knowledge, helping you see things through. From disaster preparedness to navigating recovery's embrace, we're here to guide you in every unpredictable time and place. We break down the complex, make it easy to grasp and absorb, sharing strategies for safety, the vital lessons you can't afford to hoard. So thank you for watching, and thank you so much for your sub. You're a key part of our growing family, a member of our knowledge club. With every like, every share, and every comment you send our way, our critical message spreads further, helping more people every single day. Together we're stronger and more prepared. That's the truth we all abide. You help us build resilience with nowhere for uncertainty to hide. Your engagement truly inspires us. Your feedback acts as a guiding light, helping us continually grow and making our channel's future bright.